My gran was put into an old people's home, and when she got too old, my mom could not able to look after her. And when she was in the old people's home, she encountered racism, not by the staff, but by the residents. But what I find interesting was that my gran, this wasn't a play up, right? My gran, she paid tithes into the church all her life. Speaking in tongues, dancing at the altar, loyally paying her tithes. The church did not go to visit her. The church hasn't even all the money. I knew that would happen. If I'm still there, I'm going to continue, okay? The church, with all the money that they've acquired, okay, they could have opened up old people's homes for black people. They could have done that. They could have done that, but they didn't, okay? And as a result, many black people, when they reach old age, they end up, going to homes where they are, is this recording? Yes, right, where they face racism, etc. And all because the churches, they do not have any, how can I put it, any program or facility or social welfare that looks after their own kind. You're told that you must give your tithes because the money goes to God. What about when you reach old age? What about when you need help? What about when you need food on the table? But those kind of provisions doesn't seem to bother the black church. And unless you've reached in your 90s, then this won't matter to you. You won't care. As long as you're not in your 90s or late 80s and become, not able-bodied, then this kind of conversation won't be needed unless it happens to your family. And you've got to question, why is it that I've been paying money into the black church for so many years, yet they've got no system? I think it's 420 billion has been paid into the black church. 420 billion. But yet, they've got no system where they can say, something, let's look after ourselves. If the black church really cared about black people, if they really cared about black people, how is it that as soon as you reach in your 90s, they shove you in the old people's home when you no longer can pay, tithes? They probably come to the old people's home and get it out your purse. They're so cold. T.D. Jakes, the mega rich pastor, multi-millionaire, him and God knows how many of them, they could have opened up an old people's home for black people. They could open up a supermarket, but they're not interested because they're players. They have no care for our people. As long as somebody comes and use religion, we get brainwashed. We don't look into their background to see if these people are genuine. We don't care. Just open the Bible and that's it. They must be true. They must be genuine. My gran could have benefited from living in such facilities, catering for her own kind. But all the church cared about was telling her, pay your tithes. And in the end, she died miserably. In the end, she died miserably and disillusioned. she was let down. She was let down. She got into a system that cared only about money. But it's only when it either affects you personally or when it's too late, then suddenly you begin to see the truth. When it's too late or when it affects you personally. And it was sad to see her decline. Paid tithes, all her life she paid tithes into the system, and they couldn't even open up. They couldn't even open up an old people's home. It only cost a few grand and a few church staff to run it, but they couldn't even bother to do that. What does it tell you about them? And how they perceive you and how they treat you? You pay your tithes for decades, but nothing to show for it that she died a lonely, broken woman. The church failed her. They failed her. She experienced horrible racism, horrible. And the church failed her because they couldn't be bothered about your social welfare. They couldn't be bothered. All they care about is traveling on private jets, competing to see who can own the best mansion, who can drive the best cars. But as I said, is wait till you reach in your late 80s and 90s, then reality will kick in when the black church fails you and lets you down. Then you begin to realize the truth of these videos.